Hello, I'm Steve. This is another C1 video, or B2. Probably more like C1, but it's going to be 4 parts of the use of English about a topic I'm very passionate about, ice cream sandwiches, also known as, aka Maxibon, or here in Spain, this special treat from the popular chain Mercadona, where you can get 6 of these for €2.70, which works out at 45 cents per ice cream. Which really makes you wonder at the marvels of the modern world, where we can produce this elixir, this manna from heaven for a mere 45 cents. And at the end of the day, this can really perk you up for a mere 45 cents, considering that the minimum wage is however many euros an hour. I think one class and I can buy 50 of these or whatever. What a world we live in. So I was getting passionate about this and I went on YouTube to search for how they're made. Saw a very, very funny video from Vice Australia, a guy called Goxie. And it made me think, I could do a class on this. So that's what I did. And I did a class on it and I'm sharing it on YouTube. It's going to be 4 parts of the use of English, starting now. Part 1 is the history of Maxibon. This is adapted from Wikipedia. Pause the video, complete the gaps using the word that best fits. And here are the answers, of course, because you paused the video, you've taken your time, you've printed it or whatever you want to do with it. You've taken notes about the answers, and now we're going to go through them and say, why is it the correct answer? So number 1 is owned, because a company owns a brand. That's the best word there. Consists of course, chocolate chips. I think that one might be a bit easy, but I don't know how common that is in other languages. Certainly, I think it's a bit of an international word. We say chips de chocolate in lots of countries. The next one is a bit more tough. Markets. We're talking about the Italian market and then international markets. Number 5, this is a good one. You enjoy popularity. The other ones don't quite fit as well as saying that a product or a person enjoys popularity at a certain time. Bit of a collocation there. Number 6 is fairly common Cambridge expression that you might see on part 1, part 2 in the reading. Even in the listening. To splash out on means to spend money, where you don't care so much about spending money, something more expensive. Number 7, the best answer is varieties, because we're talking about different versions of the same thing. And number 8, discontinued is the specific word that means to stop selling something. This was on Wikipedia, didn't really explain it, but I thought it was a good word to include for your C1. So you should have a mark out of 8 for use of English part 1. Let's move on to part 2. Funny story. Again, this was adapted from something, but then I did use ChatGPT to rewrite it because it makes it better for part 2. Because ChatGPT writes in very typical English that you need to know about. So pause the video, no options, complete the gaps. And here we go. Number 1, into. You turn something into something else. How did he do it? By daring to devour the biscuit side first. People watched in disbelief. That's an expression, you watch in disbelief. Number 4 is a good C1 expression. You use this in different ways. All the grace, for all I know. This kind of all for emphasis, all the grace of a bull in a china shop. And number 5, he was simply challenging the laws. He missed the memo, or was, we've omitted the subject because it's like using the same subject from before. He was doing this, or was doing this. Number 6, you are quick to comment is an adjective. It's followed by the infinitive. Number 7 is a nice one because from the context, what's the question that you're going to ask? Who needs clean fingers? Nobody. Ha ha ha, Sarah snickers. And the last one, this is a bit of an easy one, but I had to include it. You're aware of and unaware of something. So there we go, that's part 2. Some fairly typical C1 part 2 questions. Score out of 8. If you didn't get any, note them down. Think about why you didn't get it. What have you learned? Part 3. This one again is from ChatGPT, but it is based on real Maxibon advertising. And they seem really insistent that they are the unconventional ice cream for people who dare to do something different, which is you just eating an ice cream. Calm down, Maxibon consumers. It's not like you're overthrowing global capitalism. But anyway, that's the point. Pause the video. Transform the words. The answers are coming in 3, 2, 1. Rebel, we need an adjective. That's going to be rebellious with a double L. We double it because of the consonant vowel consonant rule, don't we? Bel, consonant vowel consonant, like big, bigger, hot, hotter. rebel or rebel, rebellious, depends if it's a verb or a noun. Number 2, from revolve, a revolution. See, there's you get the theme here, rebellion, revolution. Extraordinary, out of the ordinary is going to be extraordinary. And number 4, what's the adjective of audacity? The program that we all use to edit our audio. Of course, audacious. A nice C1 transformation there. Number 5, a bit easy. You need an adverb. It's perfectly suited for those who live on the edge. Again, the same idea, defiance. You standing up to the man. Maxibon, of course, is produced by communists who want to overthrow capitalism, as we said. And number 7, you are breaking expectations. And number 8, what you're going to do, unleash your taste rebellion. Leash as in the leash of a dog, unleash it to free it. A nice one, a bit unusual, but possible to get. So there we go, that's the end of part 3. And here comes part 4. We have 6 sentences about Maxibon. You need to complete the second sentence so it means the same as the first, using the key word that is in bold and underlined, and not changing it. Pause the video, try and complete these second sentences. Again, they're all adapted from typical C1 structures. The first one, for example, is a passive sentence, isn't it? Oh, sorry. Let's do the answers. The first one is a passive sentence. If people recognize it, then they are recognized. They're not just recognized, they're generally recognized. They are generally recognized to be the pinnacle of modern human achievement, which is a fair comment. It should be illegal. Well, if it's illegal, you need a phrase with law. It should be against the law to do something. It's against the law to eat. Well, it must be to eat because you've got eat. So it's not going to be anything else, is it? It's going to be the infinitive. You have to try harder. Well, this shouldn't really say much. I messed that up. I should have edited that, but it shouldn't really say much. But it doesn't really matter, does it? You get the idea anyway. Something about trying hard with make. Of course, you need the expression make an effort. But now we need it in comparative form, which is a bit more difficult. It is to make more of an effort. You'll have to make more of an effort if you want to get sponsored by Maxibon. Man, imagine if I got sent Maxibon. That's the dream, isn't it? That's the YouTube dream. But as it is, I'll just keep buying 18 Maxibons at a time and filling up my freezer every month. I had almost no Maxibons left. With run, the expression is run out of. When I had almost run out of. Or, as one of my students said, what about was about to run out of? And yeah, it means the same thing. It's 6 words. You've used the word. You've followed the rules. I'll accept it. As the ultimate authority of this exam, I will accept that. Next one should be quite easy. Could you buy me? With grateful. The only trick, of course, is it's reported speech. I should have put this in. Well, I guess they're both reported. But it's not a question, is it? I'd be grateful is not a question, so it's if you could. The question is, could you? This is not a question, it's just a statement about your gratitude. So you don't invert the subject and the verb, you keep them in normal word order. I'd be grateful you could buy me a Maxibon. And the last one, Maria managed to eat 2 Maxibons herself without any help, which is pathetic. I honestly think I could eat 6, and I'd only not be enjoying it by the 6th. I think on the 5th I'd still be enjoying it. But if she managed, she succeeded. She succeeded in, and if she did it herself, she did it all by herself. She succeeded in eating 2 all by herself. Total out of 12, because as you know, if you're subscribed to my channel and watching these videos and keeping up to date with all the latest C1 news, the exciting breaking C1 news, you get 2 marks per question, 1 mark for the thing each side of the little bar that you get by pressing Alt-Grr and 1, at least on my Spanish keyboard. So there we go. You've got a total out of 36 and you need to get 60% to pass. I hope you did it, and I hope you go and eat a Maxibon. And if you can't, well, I'm very, very sorry. I'm sure there's vegan and sugar-free Maxibons available in different places. So there we go. Right, keep watching the channel for more videos like this. Goodbye.